Hey all, this is Fair Game, and a new Mario Kart. Yeah, we love to see it. It's a new game. When the trailer came out, I saw people saying this just looks like Mario Kart 8, and to those of you who think this just looks like an updated Mario Kart 8, I don't... No. It's like a fundamentally different game. 24 players. Look at that. Look at that lighting. Oh, so pretty. Look at the way the tracks are laid out. Look at the boost panels. Do you think they would update the way the boost panels look? The character models. Do you think they would just update character models? No. This is a new game. New Mario Kart game. Guys, there's a new Mario Kart coming out. On the Switch 2. It's still crazy to think the Switch 2 is real. I mean, the leaks were all real. We knew that. But, like, it actually is happening. I thought Nintendo would sit on it till, like, 2034. But, yeah, Switch 2. New Mario Kart. Mario Kart 9, Mario Kart 10, whatever you want to call it. It's a new Mario Kart. And, what's something that all Mario Kart games have? That's a lie. If I said this thing, you'd be like, the first 4 games do not have them. But everything after Mario Kart DS, you know what they all have? Retro tracks. Half of the game is just tracks from other games in the series. It's a good way to, get some of those older players back who played some of the games that they're trying to nostalgia bait, And, I don't think this game will be any different. I think we'll have retro tracks. And I wanted to kind of lay out what I want to see out of the game's retro tracks. Kind of a loose prediction. So I'm not really using any, metrics for this. It's just what I think is likely to come. Just on vibes alone. But I got some rules before I'm going into this. Because, what fun would it be if I put together a list with no rules? Then you would have, every Rainbow Road, Coconut Mall, all the Bowser's Castles, every circuit track. That's a hot take of mine, but every circuit track would be on there. And that'd just be a really boring list. So, let's look at some rules. 1, I'm going to do 6 cups, like what Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had at launch. 6 retro cups. It didn't have 6 full retro cups. 2 of them were the Mario Kart 8 Wii U DLC cups, but I think if we start with 24 retro tracks, 24 nitro tracks, it's kind of a good number for the game to start, especially something following up on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which had 96 tracks after the Booster Course Pass. It'd be kind of a disappointment if you went back down to 32, so I think 48 at launch is pretty good, and then DLC can come out later. Another rule. I'm going to prioritize tracks that haven't been remade yet. Now, that's not to say this whole list will be tracks that have never come back, because that limits us a little bit. 1 N64 track, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to prioritize the tracks that haven't been remade so that we get as many of those as we can. But I still want to have some of those heavy hitters from, Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart 7, And then I'm not going to include any retro tracks from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or from the Booster Course Pass. Because those came out so recently. If you want to play Coconut Mall, play it on the Switch. If you have Mario Kart 9 on Switch 2, you probably already have 8 Deluxe. And it's just more fun having restrictions on the list, But those are all the rules I gave myself. I tried to have my picks informed by the way Nintendo picks their tracks. So, have your circuit tracks to start out and then end out on a Rainbow Road and a Bowser's Castle. They don't generally end out on a Bowser's Castle, but I felt like, Nitro tracks do it. It'd be fun to carry that into the retros. Cool stuff. So, without further ado, let's get started with the Shell Cup. The opener every time. This is the opener cup for the retro tracks. And I wanted to start this off with a beloved track. This is a very nostalgic track for a lot of people, me included. Wii Luigi Circuit. It never got remade in Tour. It never got put in the Booster Course Pass. And between this and Figure 8 Circuit, now Figure 8 Circuit has to come back at some point. It's not beat around the bush there. And I genuinely thought about putting it in here, but as I was going through the list, we had kind of a lack of Wii tracks because something like 12 of them are in Mario Kart 8. Don't quote me on that, but like a lot of them are there. And you know, with the no Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Booster Course Pass retro rule, kind of limited our options. And DS tracks, we had plenty. And you know, it's Mario Kart Wii, you gotta have some tracks. So Luigi Circuit. How do I spice this track up for this game? 24 players, I feel like that's enough. Like, it's such a simple layout, and it's big enough already that 24 players would work on it. Second track of the Shell Cup. SNES Koopa Beach 1. I feel like this track, you know, it's very simple. It's how you introduce your water mechanics. Assuming those are coming back. This would be the perfect track to introduce how water works. Go underwater, except for certain spots. And then it would teach off-road, you know, just good game design. And it'd be a simple track, easy to learn with like an inside route and an outside route. You know, pretty chill, pretty simple. And I think it'd lend itself pretty well to 24 players being as spread out as it is. Now, next. Ooh, another rule I had that I forgot to mention. Every cup is going to have a Wii U track. Just because, I don't know, it's the most recent game. Might as well throw them in there. But Wii U Thwomp Ruins. This track rules. I love this track. Genuinely, when it comes back, they don't have to change much. Make the track... You don't even need to make the track wider. I think you could keep the track narrow for a lot of these tracks. And just cram 24 players in there, you know? It'd be cool, it'd be fun. But Thwomp Ruins genuinely doesn't need to change much. Maybe more shortcuts. That's about all I can think of. That's the competitive player in me, though. I want more shortcuts. Then, to end out the Shell Cup, let's rock with 3DS Shy Guy Bazaar. This track was actually planned for the Booster Course Pass early on. I could be wrong on this, don't quote me. But no, I'm thinking of a different track. Never mind. Don't quote me on that. This track was not planned for the Booster Course Pass. It was one of the earliest remakes in Tour, though. And this track's layout is really nice. There's a really good Mario Kart 8 Deluxe custom track that ports the Tour model over and pretties it up quite a bit. I don't remember who made it, but it's really nice. That should be the basis for how it looks. You don't really have to widen the track. It's already pretty wide. And it's got so many branching routes, whether that be a top route in the bazaar itself, or that little ramp off to the side that doesn't do anything, but it's neat that it's there. I feel like there's plenty of room for 24 players here. Then, so that was our Shell Cup. Now on to the second cup, the Banana Cup. Now, let's kick this off, the circuit track. 3DS Mario Circuit. This one also got remade in Tour, but I don't think they should use the Tour model. They should make it from scratch and really pretty up the castle. Let's make the castle just gorgeous. And then, how do we change this to fit the mechanics of Mario Kart 9? 24 players. I genuinely don't think this track needs much changing. Maybe, like, turn the mushroom into a blue mushroom so you get a glider there? Or, like, only on lap 3 or something? I don't know. But I think, it's a really nice track. I feel like it'd be pretty straightforward, but a more difficult circuit track. Just kind of test the mechanics you learned in Shell Cup. And if you have played the Nitro tracks before you play the Retros, that's not super necessary. But, in game design... So, if you don't know this about me, I love game design. But one thing about game design is you use your first kind of area to subtly teach mechanics. So, in the Shell Cup, we're going to teach how road works with Luigi Circuit, how just your driving mechanics. Then SNES Koopa Beach 1, we're going to teach underwater driving. Then Wii U Thwomp Ruins, we're going to teach gliders and anti-grav. And then in Shy Guy Bazaar, we're going to teach different road textures. And kind of more glider control in a wider section. Then in Banana Cup, we're going to kind of test your driving from what you've learned in those tracks in Mario Circuit. Then, our second track for the Banana Cup, GBA Yoshi Desert. I just like Yoshi Desert. I don't have any reason for including it here. I just think it's neat. You could turn like part of the track into a pyramid, or like have you drive into the Yoshi Sphinx. I think that'd be cool. There's not much to that pick though. I just think it's neat, and we need more Game Boy tracks on this list. Next up, Wii U Wild Woods. Wild Woods is a nice track. It's very pretty. It's an eye-catching track, and it's got a simple layout. It's really simple. A lot of people don't give it credit for that. It feels like a Flower Cup track, which is kind of perfect for slotting into that like banana leaf cup range. Its difficulty isn't too bad. It's going to sharpen your ability to drive with anti-grav. You know, it's just a really simple track. It's fun. It's pretty. We don't need to change it much. Then, closing out Banana Cup, the moment you've all been waiting for like a decade. More than a decade. Almost 20 years since Mario Kart Wii came out. Wii Toad's Factory. Charlie's Cafe. He made a model for Toad's Factory. And I think that should be what the track looks like. It's real pretty. And the track is already wide enough to accommodate 24 players normally. Like, I feel like in Mario Kart Wii, it's kind of overscaled. Just with how big, especially that first 90-degree turn is. It's just so big. But I think it works really well. Toad's Factory. Enough said. And that'll be how we close out the Banana Cup. Now, on to the Leaf Cup. I'm going to go into GCN Mushroom City. This track is awesome. I love Mushroom City. With all of the branching routes, it's definitely going to confuse players. You'll have your cars driving around. It'll be so fun. Hectic. I love Mushroom City, though. It's a great track. The soundtrack is amazing. Better do it justice in this game. They will if they've got the Mario Kart band on here. But, yeah, Mushroom City is amazing. Enough said. Then, we use Sunshine Airport. We don't need to change this track. It's perfect. I love Sunshine Airport. It is so fun to drive. So nice. That's all. Next up, N64 Banshee Boardwalk. This one came back in Mario Kart DS, but they just basically ripped the not ripped the model, but it's basically 1-to-1 with Mario Kart 64, and that's not up to par with how they remake tracks now. I really like the remake in ZPL's Mario Kart Wii mod Retro Rewind. I don't know if he made that one, but it's a really pretty track model. And I think something like that is the direction you could go with Banshee Boardwalk in another Mario Kart. It's got just that eerie tone to it. I feel like if you spiced up the track's layout a little bit with like some traps, maybe some area to trick, then you'd really have a really good track on your hands. Then, to close out the Leaf Cup, here's a controversial pick, but a track I think has so much potential. No one sees this. I don't get it. This track has so much potential. SNES Bowser Castle 2. That's right, the one with the dead end. And the weird, box section. I think this track has potential to be one of the best tracks in any Mario Kart. Take that dead end, turn it into a shortcut. Take the weird split path section, turn it into spiraling towers. It'll be awesome. This track is going to be amazing. I plan on making it with Kinects at some point. Be ready for that. That'll come, actually, probably in the Grand Prix Project Leaf Cup. No promises, but be ready for that. Yeah, that's our Leaf Cup. Now, on to the Lightning Cup. Here's where things are going to start really testing the player, These tracks are... Now we get to the really interesting tracks. Let's kick it off with Super Bell Subway from Mario Kart 8. I love Super Bell Subway, man. Oh, this track. It's just a delight to drive. The top routes that really change the way you go about things. The glider that takes you through that patch of off-road right at the end. Man, good track. You can go on top of the cars. It doesn't really have much use, but it's cool. Yeah, bring back Super Bell Subway. Then next up, GBA Lakeside Park. This one got remade in Tour near the end of that game's lifespan and didn't get brought into 8 Deluxe. Reasonably so, we already had Riverside Park, but that remake of Lakeside Park with the volcano was so cool. I really liked it. We should do something like that. Maybe not rip that model, but take ideas from how we remade Lakeside Park there and bring them in. Because I really liked that one, especially with the volcano integrated into the track. It was really nice. Then, here's another fan favorite, because it's been a minute since we've had one. You know, I feel like these tracks are all going to be sleepers. They're going to be good in this next Mario Kart, but, you know, they're not what you're coming into it for. Airship Fortress. Get it on a console already, man. It's such a good track. It's so... It's Airship Fortress. Everyone loves Airship Fortress. Just put it on console. Glorious HD, if not 4K. You know? Man, it'll be awesome. Then, we'll close out the Lightning Cup with the only Mario Kart 64 track that's never been remade. Wario Stadium. Now, a lot of people are iffy on this track, but everyone I see who's iffy on this track seems to neglect the fact that Nintendo remakes their tracks. Like, they're going to change out the layout. They'll make it more interesting. If you want, like, kind of a look at what I think would be really cool, once again, in ZPL's Retro Rewind mod, there's a Wario Stadium remake there, and it's maybe my favorite track to play on Retro Rewind. It's so nice. Like, it's got such a cool idea, putting it in that stadium, like, actually making it feel like it's in a stadium with the road on the outside, and then you go onto the dirt section. It's so cool. But yeah, that's our Lightning Cup. Then, this next one, I don't think they'll call it the Triforce Cup, but just so that you know what I'm talking about, Cup 5 Triforce Cup, right? We're gonna kick that off with Wii U Cloud Top Cruise. See, I personally am not the biggest fan of Cloud Top Cruise. I know. Come after me. But I feel like it's just got weird geometry near the beginning on that cloud section, and it kind of drags out near the end, but people love Cloud Top Cruise. And, you know, I think the track could be fixed for me if it came back. You know, I don't know what they would change, but I feel like I might enjoy it more in another game. You know? So yeah, absolutely put Cloud Top Cruise in here. Then, next up, let's get a Mario Kart DS track in here. It's been a minute. I say that we just did Airship Fortress. Never mind. It hasn't been a minute. DK Pass. Charlie's Cafe. Once again, shouting him out again. He did a really cool remake of this track. He made a model for it, and it looks so nice. Let's do something like that. You know, pretty simple track. It was in Tour. I like Charlie's Cafe's model. Yeah, enough said. Then, next up, GCN Wario Coliseum, another track featuring Wario that has never been remade. Which is a shame, because Wario Coliseum is so fun. I remember when I was first playing through Double Dash, and I put so much time into Wario's Coliseum, not because I couldn't beat it, but because it was just fun to drive. Like, it's just such a wacky track. I feel like the visual design for it isn't very cohesive, but Nintendo can absolutely fix that. They'll do an amazing job remaking this, whether it be in this next Mario Kart game or another one. Like, it's gonna look so pretty. Then, closing out the Triforce Cup, let's get another Bowser's Castle in here. A Wii Bowser's Castle. This was my Bowser's Castle growing up. This is the one, when I think Bowser's Castle, this is what I think too, with the wavy road at the beginning, the bridge you do a flip trick off of into Bowser's mouth and he laughs. And man, it's such a cool track. Yeah, we need to bring back Wii Bowser's Castle. This track works best if you're also bringing back half pipes. But yeah, Wii Bowser's Castle. It's so cool. It's awesome. Then, final cup, the Bell Cup. Once again, I don't think they'll call it this, but Bell Cup. This is how we're going to close things out. We're going to open it up with Wii U Bone Dry Dunes. This track has such an atmosphere to it. It's so fun to drive. It feels both menacing and also lived in, which is kind of a hard balance to strike with a Mario Kart track. With the dry Bowser iconography. And then you still have that little town at the beginning, and is it a boat or a train? I don't remember. I think it's a boat that rides around and throws coins on the track with all the toads on it. It's so cool. Great track. Bring it back. Then this next one, another divisive pick, also from Super Mario Kart. We're going to get Mario Circuit 4 in here. Now, if you guys saw my Connects remake of Mario Circuit 2, I'm probably going to go back and remake that again, but I wanted to be more ambitious with that. I wanted it to feel like it was in a stadium. And you had that Mario mode. It was going to feel like, I wanted it to feel like Mario Kart Stadium from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but with the layout of Mario Circuit 2, but you like went into a building, the Mario Motors building. Let's do something like that for Mario Circuit 4. Let's make it feel grandiose, like the last major circuit track of the game, and let's make it feel special. Next up, let's get another Mario Kart DS track in here. 3 in a row. DS Bowser's Castle. This will be the penultimate track. Let's make it feel, let's like dial up the electric guitar to like 13. Let's dial up the spikes and the lava. Let's just throw thwomps everywhere. Why not, man? Let's make this the Bowser's Castle of this game, because, we already have 2. Let's make this the big one. And I think they could make this look so pretty in this new game's art style. From what we've seen of it, we've only seen one track, but DS Bowser's Castle would look so pretty. Then let's close this out with a good track. A real good track. These are all good tracks, but this is probably my most wanted track in any Mario Kart ever. I want GBA Rainbow Road to come back. I feel like this track doesn't get enough credit with how creative you could be with the remake of it. There are so many directions you could take. I know there are people who think that it'd be really cool if it came back and you went inside Peach's castle from Paper Mario 64. That'd be awesome. Or like if, the track winded around and you could like see a bottom layer to it. That'd be so cool. Or if, I want to go crazy with S-bends. I want it to be very vertical. I want it to feel like a trek, And I want to keep the ramp, like the weird ramp road. If you can use that to jump onto other parts of the track, I want to keep that. Like, let's have a downhill section where you can, like, jump onto other parts of the track, like the gap jump from DK Mountain. Let's do that. I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, that's my list. Let's run through it one more time. We got Wii Luigi Circuit, SNES Koopa Beach 1, Wii U Thwomp Ruins, 3DS Shy Guy Bazaar, 3DS Mario Circuit, GBA Yoshi Desert, Wii U Wild Woods, Wii Toad's Factory, GCN Mushroom City, Wii U Sunshine Airport, N64 Banshee Boardwalk, SNES Bowser Castle 2, Wii U Super Bell Subway, GBA Lakeside Park, DS Airship Fortress, N64 Wario Stadium, Wii U Cloud Top Cruise, DS DK Pass, GCN Wario Coliseum, Wii Bowser's Castle, Wii U Bone Dry Dunes, SNES Mario Circuit 4, DS Bowser's Castle, and GBA Rainbow Road. I think that's a pretty stacked lineup right there. I'm pretty proud of that. Now once again, these aren't like 100% predictions. I try to be really realistic with these picks. I don't think this will be the order of them. I think this will be pretty close to our track lineup, though. I think we're at least, you can quote me on this, we're going to get at least 20 of these tracks in the game. Maybe not 20. At least 16 of these are going to be in the game. And you can quote me on that. In fact, I'm probably going to make a video when we get the full track list for the new game and compare it to what I came up with here. I might make a bingo card and, like, stream reactions. Maybe. Don't quote me on that. That's not a promise, but that'd be funny. I need to get a capture card first. Guys, I need to get a capture card. Streaming would be so much fun with you guys if I had, like, an actual way to record footage. I got so many videos I could do if I did that. But, yeah. That's my prediction for the new Mario Kart roster. Not roster. Track roster. retro tracks. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. What would you change? You know, what tracks would you include? What do you think was a weird pick that I came up with? Yeah, that's the question of the day. What was the weirdest pick that I came up with? If you made it this far, thanks for watching to the end of the video. If you like what you saw here, drop a like, subscribe. You know, it helps the channel out, helps me out, lets me know what you guys want me to keep making. I like playing around with this new style of content where I'm not just building Connects tracks, but I get to, like, you know, just have a little conversation with myself into the mic, you know, keeps it real. I don't want to script out my videos too heavily, just because I feel like that takes away from how real they feel. My videos should feel like having a conversation with me, you know? But yeah, that's all I got for you, folks. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.